Hey there, future Georgia educators. Welcome back to the Everything Teacher channel, where we break down teacher certification tests and help you feel confident walking into your exam. I'm Olivia, a test prep expert with study.com, and today's video is a must-watch if you're preparing for the new Georgia assessment for the Certification of Educators Elementary Education P through 5 exam. Because yes, you heard that right, the GACE has officially changed. The old version, 2 subtests, 150 questions. The new version, still 150 questions, but now it's split into 5 separate testlets. That's right, testlets. Sounds a little friendlier than subtests, doesn't it? But don't get too comfortable. Just because the testlets are smaller doesn't mean the test got easier. You're still going to need to bring your A game in every subject area, from reading and writing to science and math. In this video, we're going to give you a clear, up-to-date overview of what's changed in the GACE Elementary Education exam, what each testlet covers, and how to prepare so you're not caught off guard on test day. If you're ready to take the stress out of studying and feel way more confident about what to expect, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. If you're working toward becoming a certified elementary school teacher in Georgia, the GACE Elementary Education P through 5 assessment is an essential part of your journey. This exam is required for candidates seeking certification to teach students from pre-K through 5th grade. As of July 1st, 2025, the GACE has introduced a new format for this test. Instead of the previous 2 subtest version, the updated test now consists of 5 separate testlets, giving test takers more flexibility in how and when they complete the exam. Think of them like mini tests, each focused on a different subject area. Instead of tackling everything at once, you'll go through each testlet one at a time, which can help make the whole thing feel a little more manageable. Later on, we'll cover scoring, testlet contents, and give you a warm-up with some practice test questions. For now, let's break down how the test is structured and what to expect on test day, so stay tuned in. So, each of the 5 testlets under the GACE Elementary Education exam focuses on a different content area. Testlet 001 covers English Language and Arts and includes 30 selected response questions with 45 minutes allotted for completion. Testlet 002 focuses on mathematics with 30 selected response questions and a slightly longer testing time of 60 minutes. Testlet 003 covers social studies, again with 30 questions and 45 minutes to complete. Testlet 004 assesses knowledge of science, also with 30 questions and a 45-minute time frame. Finally, Testlet 005 addresses the arts, health, and wellness, containing 30 questions and 45 minutes of testing time. Each testlet costs $34, and you can register to take them individually or all together in one testing session. If you choose to complete all 5 testlets at once, you'll be answering a total of 150 selected response questions over the course of 4 hours, with a combined cost of $169. The testlets are computer-based, and you can take this at any Pearson VUE test site located in Georgia and throughout the U.S. Before we get into how the scores work, let's take a quick look at the kinds of questions you'll actually see on the test. First, all 5 testlets in the new GACE Elementary Education exam include multiple choice questions, also called selective response items. These questions ask you to choose the best answer out of 4 options. You'll see a mix of straightforward knowledge checks and scenario-based questions where you'll have to apply what you know to real teaching situations. Now, about the scores. Each testlet has what's called a floor score, which is the minimum score you need to pass that individual section. Think of it like passing a level in a video game, where you need to reach that base score to keep moving forward. But here's the twist. The GACE also uses cumulative scoring. That means if you score a little below the floor on one testlet, you might still pass the overall exam if you do really well on the others. This means your strong areas can help balance out your weaker ones. The passing cumulative score for the GACE Elementary exam is 220 out of a scale of 100 to 300. Another important part of cumulative scoring is understanding how much weight each testlet carries towards your overall score. Each testlet chips in 20% of your cumulative score for this exam. And since the exact testlet floor scores aren't explicitly defined, your goal should be to aim for at least 220 on each testlet. The better you do across all 5, the more certain you can feel about passing overall. And the best part, you'll get a detailed breakdown of your scores afterward, so you'll know exactly where you crushed it and where you might need more review if you need to retake anything. Okay, up next is a quick rundown of the test policies. When you're gearing up for the new GACE Elementary Education exam, it's important to know the testing environment ahead of time so you can focus your energy on the test itself. Once you get to the test center, you'll be asked to show valid photo ID at check-in and stash all personal items like phones, bags, and notes outside the testing room. Once you're seated in the testing room, you'll be provided with a noteboard and erasable pen for any notes or calculations, but remember you won't be allowed to use it until the actual test begins. And by the way, there aren't any scheduled breaks once the test begins, and any voluntary breaks you take will be against the testing time. If you're tackling all 5-testlets in a single appointment, though, a 15-minute break is automatically included, so you get some space to reset and stretch. Now that we've gone through a bit of the test day logistics, let's move on to the content and what to expect from each testlet, and flex your muscles a bit with a few practice questions. First up is the English Language Arts testlet. This covers two main objectives. First, demonstrate knowledge of the structures and conventions of standard English. Expect questions on types of writing, grammar, and even some on letter formation and fine motor skills. Second, demonstrate knowledge of the writing process and text construction. That includes drafting and revising, presenting ideas out loud, doing research, and responding to texts. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time to get through this prompt. Here we go. This is your classic text type question. If you're unsure, eliminate. B and D are both about facts without opinion, so they're probably wrong. Then there's choice C, which mentions influence. Persuade, influence, sounds like a match to me. On to testlet 2, mathematics. This testlet has three objectives. First, demonstrate knowledge of numerical reasoning. You'll see questions on things like rounding and multiplying fractions, plus how to teach math using manipulatives. Second, demonstrate knowledge of patterning and algebraic, geometric, and spatial reasoning. Expect geometry, naming shapes, and solving real-world problems. Third, demonstrate knowledge of measurement and data reasoning. That's telling time, counting money, using rulers, all the practical stuff. Let's try out another practice question. And here's where that no board is your best friend. Start at 12:45, add 30 minutes, then 50 more. So the music starts at B, 2:05 p.m. Watch out for careless mistakes here. These questions love to trip people up who do mental math too fast. Testlet 3, Social Studies, contains three objectives. First, historical understandings, involves mastery of U.S. history, Georgia history, and developing personal timelines. Next is geographic understandings, which test your map skills, human geography, and environment-society interactions. Last is government, civic, and economic understandings. Think supply and demand, branches of government, and basic civics. Ready for another practice round? The correct answer is C, climate. Why? Because if it's snowing in July, you're not growing strawberries. Don't overthink these. If the obvious answer makes sense, it's probably right. It's important to remember, the test isn't trying to trick you. If you know the correct answer, obviously choose that. But if you're not sure, trust your gut and you have a good chance of being right. Elementary teachers need to be science savvy too, and that's where testlet 4 comes in. This section checks your understanding across three main areas: Earth and space science, think solar system, weather, and geology; physical science, which includes matter, energy, and simple machines; and life science, where you'll dive into life cycles, ecosystems, and basic plant and animal biology. Let's work on another practice problem. Go with your instincts. Metal spoon is the obvious answer. Metal heats up fast, and if you've ever touched a spoon left on a picnic table, you know. You don't need to be Bill Nye to pass this, but a good review helps. Study.com video lessons are a great way to review your science topics because the visualizations in the videos are important for understanding the concepts. On to the fifth and final testlet, the arts, health, and wellness. Testlet 5 is a bit of a mixed bag, combining topics from the arts, health, and physical education. You'll need to know the basics of visual and media arts, performing arts like music and theater, and key health concepts like child development, safety, and illness prevention. Here's our final practice question. The answer is portrait. If you forget the definition of portrait, eliminate what you do know. Still life, fruit bowls. Landscape, nature. Abstract, not a face. Whew, that's the new GACE Elementary Education exam in a nutshell. Yes, it's a lot, but the biggest shift is really in how everything is organized. Instead of 2 large subtests, you're now working through 5 focused testlets. Take some time to plan your approach. Think about what order makes the most sense for you. Starting with your strongest subjects can give you a confidence boost. Then ask yourself how much time you'll need to review each area and how to study efficiently without burning out. My tip, use study.com's short, targeted video lessons for topics you need to brush up on and dive into practice problems for areas you already feel solid in. You've absolutely got this. If this video helped you, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Everything Teacher so more Georgia educators can find the info they need. Got questions about the GACE? Drop them in the comments. We're here to help. Good luck on your exam!